Hey guys. All right, so it's Kate with Kate's Regretless Life, and of course, Aries. And Aries, if you guys recall, a while back, Aries wound up selecting some cards. And when I say selecting, I mean savaging some cards. And the storyline that we had last time around was that it was a situation where two people had a lot of love. It was a Four of Wands connection that had been eroded away through lack of communication. And even though there was a desire to communicate, the Empress still seemed to be feeling pretty ungrounded, feeling like there still hadn't been conversation that was really like making things make sense. And so it was a difficult circumstance because there was a lot of love there, a lot of connection, and yet it was being eroded away because of lack of communication. Now, in the last week and a half or so, well, I guess 2 weeks really, my Aries has grown a lot more. He's he went through another huge growth spurt, and he's so much taller than he used to be. And so he got to some more cards, because no matter how high up I put him, if they're anywhere near an edge, he can reach things that he couldn't reach even 2 weeks ago. And that has produced some more help from Aries. And so you guys, the first card that he got to, so this is a continuation of the story. The first card that he got to was a Three of Scrolls. Three of Scrolls is all about setting our course. It's all about going after new happiness, knowing that there is something else in our future, knowing that our storyline is not over, no matter what hurt, no matter what pain we've gone through. This is, and let me put it this way, if that storyline were not a romantic storyline that you had maybe identified with, maybe it had something to do with, the Empress could have represented a boss or a manager. Maybe some of you had a job where you were, in a position of authority, and you loved it and everything was going well, and then maybe, sometimes things just go sideways and there's lack of good communication, and maybe you didn't feel very respected, and maybe the company didn't quite support you in your decisions, or, something along those lines. And so a really terrific relationship, a work relationship, started to fall by the wayside. This can represent you going out and looking for new jobs, putting in, applications, starting to look at new opportunities for yourself, and knowing full well that you are by no means a one-trick pony. There are so many other potentials for you. Not only that, but we have all these, it's clear skies. We have a rainbow up there. We've got a lot of happiness here. So we are setting our course for success, which I love to see that. So that's our first card that Mr. Aries selected, okay? However, even though we say that we're setting our course, the next card that he selected is the Five of Scarabs. Five of Scarabs is, and he didn't do too bad on this card, actually. He only shredded pieces of it. It's not that bad, but he did get a hold of it. This is very much about being out in the cold. This is about two people, and mind you, it's two people now, that are walking along in a sandstorm, and they've stayed lost in a sandstorm, even though here we have this perfectly inviting, warm, safe, fantastic place, this temple or pyramid or however you perceive this, that they could easily duck in here and stay safe. But instead, they continue to wander about, lost in the sandstorm. So this looks like two people unwilling to budge, two people feeling no matter what, telling themselves, well, I'm gonna just totally go and, have success somewhere else. But the truth is, they're carrying around a sense of loss. They're carrying around a sense of, this didn't work for me. This is still, I've been left in the cold. This is still a sadness that I carry. This is still a wounding that I carry. I'm not happy about this. And so it's very hard when you're in this vibe of saying, oh, I'm totally over this. I am totally going to find something better for myself. But it's really hard when we carry around a sense of sadness deep down. And more importantly, this represents that we could miss out on great opportunities because we are keeping ourselves from noticing them. Again, lost in a sandstorm is that's a pretty significant situation, and a very dangerous situation to let ourselves stay in that frame of mind, because it means that we're so blinded by all these other opportunities that we could miss lots of them, and we could wind up, going too far down the path that we're supposed to be finding for ourselves. So this is almost like, the way I see this is it's time to stop. So yes, start planning, but then stop at some point and take stock and say, am I really planning a happy future for all the right reasons? Is my motive correct? If you're about to enter into a new relationship with somebody, just random because you went out and spotted somebody, do you really like that person, or are you looking for somebody to help you forget the other sorrow? Because that could be an example of getting lost in the sandstorm. We don't want to go and kind of get too far off course, because the truth is we're just trying to tell ourselves that we're moving on when in fact we're still blinded by tears, is what I'm going to say. So we don't want to miss great opportunities here, or take something that isn't really what we want just by way of saying, see, I'm fine. See, I've moved on. This might say, no, we got some more self-work to do. Okay, which brings me to the most important card. Now, I know that this is hard to recognize as a card at this point. Now, the other thing, hold on, let me get some of this off. The other thing that is very significant is that, in truth, my puppy got this card twice. So about, I don't know, maybe 6 days ago, he actually got a hold of this card. This is the Three of Swords, okay? And he just barely got a hold of it, and I got it right back from him. It wasn't a big deal. It was just some chewing, and then he got it again, and he did worse, and then he got it today while I was doing a Gemini reading, and like, obviously you can see that there's nothing left. The fact that he kept getting this card, the fact that he kept being able to reach up and grab it also, I get, yes, it's totally my fault, but on the other hand, what are the odds of it continuously being that card, you know? So obviously I'm going to have to retire this whole deck and get a new one, because there's nothing I can salvage out of this card, and I don't want to use a deck that doesn't have a particular card in it. But here's the thing that I think is so significant. You notice what is left. He has turned the rest of this card into confetti, right? But with this Three of Swords, which is a card of heartbreak and betrayal, what is left behind that he didn't get to is this person's head and their eyes, right? So this is saying the heartbreak that remains locked in one's memory. And we can absolutely get rid of this heartbreak. We can stop thinking about this if we can stop thinking about this. Now, I don't know a quick way to get over a heartbreak, so forgive me, I have no personal experience in doing that quickly, right? But I do know this. I do have to choose to acknowledge that I'm still in a heartbreak, and that there are things I still need to work on, so that I don't consistently say that I'm over something that I'm not, that fills my mind all the time. This could be an example of, say that you're moving on, but then maybe lots of things pop up that remind you of that person, and you go, okay, that's a synchronicity. That must mean I'm supposed to still have this person in my world, when really maybe it's an awareness that they are still very much in your mind and your thoughts, and there are some lessons yet to learn and some things yet to release, perhaps. That's just one way to think of it. But this is saying there is something that we need to do to get out of this heartbreak energy. We need to let go of the betrayal. And I say that because these swords are mostly gone. We can only see one left behind. I feel like you're almost out of this heartbreak. I feel like you're so close, but there is something still lingering here. And here's the thing. It's irrelevant whether or not the two of you could eventually come back together. The bottom line is, for you to move into the bright and beautiful future that you deserve and that is waiting for you, which absolutely is here, there is still an element of heartbreak that we want to release. And as soon as that is released, it just seems like everything goes smoother. Everything, we want to tear up this old heartbreak. That's what I get out of this. We want to tear up that old heartbreak so that that is not something that is perpetually in the forefront of our mind. So I don't know if that'll make sense to anybody, but that is what my darling has selected for us. And, oh my, I've got some more messes to clean up, don't I? And if I'm really hoping that I don't lose any more cards to my baby, but he's not quite done teething, although he's doing really, really good. I've actually lost almost nothing. The only significant losses I've had have been like couple of socks, and then just a few cards. So to me, that's pretty darn good. You know, a lot of people lose shoes, whole sets of dresses, all kinds of stuff, but really he doesn't damage too much, but he really likes cardboard, anything that is, this is like his ideal texture. So I have to say, secretly, I think I'm kind of honored that he selects the things that I use the most and that he knows is important to me, because he's a part of every piece of my world. And yes, I'm happy to continue training him with what the boundaries and rules are, but on the other hand, he's still just a baby. So I'll just take it as it comes. And for those of you out there that, I don't know, maybe you need a little bit of puppy love today yourself. So big hugs and kisses from me and Aries, and I hope everyone gets a nap in. Maybe you all need that too. You can see that my baby is very much like, after all of his hard work of tearing up a heartbreak, he's ready to take a little snooze. So maybe it's be good to yourself, be around people who love you. I hope that that makes sense to somebody out there. Anyway, you guys, we send you lots of love, and we send you lots of healing, and we send you lots of belief that, you know what, your happiness is out there. So may you all sail toward it. All right, guys, sweet dreams.